And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another CFO Connect live session. Today, we have a live build, one of my personal favorites because it's not too much about slides. It's more about showing under the hood how AI tools are being used by real finance leaders. So super happy to have you all. I know we have a packed house. We had over 250 almost people sign up for this session. So if you want to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, always happy to see where people are watching this session from. And meanwhile, what I'll do is this session is hosted by CFO Connect. We are a community for finance leaders like yourselves in the audience, just trying to learn from others, especially in the world of AI where it's going so fast. It's so important to just hear how other peers are working and how they're learning about AI. So if you want to join the community, you can right there. This session is also partnered with Dust and Spendesk. So what I'll do now is I'll pass it over to Mathieu, who will give a quick background about him, his journey as a finance leader, and a bit more about Dust. So Mathieu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Luc. Hello, everyone. So my name is Mathieu. I'm leading finance at Dust. Previously, I was for 4 years at Pigment, where I was building the finance team for 4 years. So that's precisely where I like to be and thrive in the intersection between finance and building things. And I'm thrilled to be here today to present you a brief overview of what we can do with Dust in your enterprises, and most importantly for finance team, how we can improve a bit of the workflow we are working on every day.
Cool. Thank you, Mathieu. Do you want to quickly share a bit more about Dust? I know that you had prepared a Dust frame actually in the environment.
Yeah, exactly.
So feel free to jump into that now.
Yeah, sure. All right. So what is Dust? Dust is the AI platform for enterprises where teams build and use custom agents connected to their company tools and knowledge. So what it means basically from a finance perspective, it's all about your stack. And Dust is the AI layer in between the systems, the tools and knowledge you are already using, all the source of truth that you are carefully reviewing and building since the beginning of the company. And with Dust, it's all about taking the most out of all these systems and brings outcomes that is basically work and intelligence built with AI. So a bit later, we're gonna look at some agents and how we build them live. So we're gonna navigate different notions, different concepts. 6 of them are the building blocks. First is the agent. Of course, it's your AI teammate that is based on knowledge. Knowledge is the specific knowledge you have in your company, in your Notion, in your Confluence, whatever knowledge management tool you are using. This is the most precious asset you have in your company and that you will fuel to Dust. So it's all about tools and integration, all the tools you are using. If you are using Spendesk, you can connect it through the MCP. Pauline will show this later. And you will enrich your agent with skills. Skills is as important concept as agent. It's basically a collection of know-how and instructions that you package into a skills, and you make it usable for the other people within your enterprise, within your team, so that you can leverage AI properly and a know-how. Like, what I mean by that is that you make it specific to your team and not generic. And of course, triggers to make it work repeatable week after week. And frames, so this is a frame, it's the output we use at Dust to showcase the result. So in one sentence, you have an agent that use knowledge with tool and integration into your stack that follows your skills, can be set off by triggers and show results as interactive frames. And very quickly, on finance especially, we can imagine pretty much all the use cases and have a try with Dust. Of course, one of the most obvious one is to leverage all the information you already have to make an agent answer, and that you gain some time to stop answering every day the same question. We all live this in finance. And of course, on the month end close, on FP&A reporting, on accounts receivable and collection, that's one of the use case I will show you just after. Spend and AP analysis, that's what Pauline will showcase, and some of the stuff like contract reviewing and all. So,
Cool.
yeah. Do you want me to go ahead with the live demo, or?
Not just yet, but thank you for the context there. I think it's important to understand what Dust is from a very fundamental standpoint, and we will have a live demo of the product from a finance perspective that Mathieu will show us in just a second. But before that, the other co-partner on this session is Spendesk, and so I'll let Pauline give a few words about Spendesk and about her background.
So thank you, Luc, for that. So hi, everyone. I'm Pauline Babel. I'm the CFO at Spendesk. I've been a CFO for, I think, 9 years and 1 year at Spendesk. So it's my anniversary, job anniversary this month. And I've been a customer and a happy customer of Dust for now 10 months. So what I'm going to showcase today, it's the combination of the Spendesk MCP and the Dust experience. So I think pretty powerful. Spendesk is a spend management platform built for finance teams. So we give companies full visibility and control over every euro they spend, combining corporate cards, invoice management, expense reimbursement, real-time reporting into one single platform, and now connected with the MCP. So the mission is to make finance smarter and faster and more strategic than ever.
Cool, thank you, Pauline. So we have 2 demos lined up for you guys that we'll jump into a second. Just a few housekeeping items. We will save a bit of time at the end for Q&A. So if you have any questions for our speakers, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A tab, and we'll be sure to answer them afterwards. And also just a heads up that this session is recorded, so you will all receive a replay by email after the session is over. Before we go into Mathieu's demo, I wanted to first launch a quick poll to get a sense of currently how are people thinking about using AI within finance. So I'll just flash it up on screen. The poll should be now in the chat, so you can feel free to answer. So the question is, which finance task would you most like to automate with AI? So we'll let this run a bit and see what people are voting. It looks like for now it's mostly split between budgets versus actual analysis and forecasting. But yeah, it looks like generally budget. Okay, well, yeah, people are replying. So. Yeah, so a bit of an even distribution, but most dominant by budgets and versus actual analysis. So that's well, now it's a lot more even. So I don't know if that also jumps out to the speakers, but yeah, interesting to see that it's quite split across these 3 categories. So I will now pass over the mic back to Mathieu. And Mathieu, please feel free to kick off the demo and show us a few things.
Yeah, sure. All right. So as an intro, just for the sake of the live demo, I've created a finance hub dedicated to this demo. So maybe just to introduce what is a pod. A pod is a workspace within your Dust workspace where you can manage a specific topic, and you will find all the conversations, the tasks, the files that you have created through the conversation, and its own set of settings. And one of the ones that is super interesting is that you can either have it open to everyone, or you can have it open just for your team or specific members of the company. So, for example, this one is an open to everyone, and you can see that one of our solution engineer joins the workspace, the pod, and the two frames are created for this today's session. So first, I wanted to go over a super easy agent I created that is a personal productivity one that will showcase how we can build in 5 minutes an agent. So this one is an agent I call Action Recap that is super easy. It's designed to screen on a weekly basis all the email I sent, all the granular transcript. Granular is the tool we use to record our call, our video conference. So I have the transcript, all the meeting I've done. It goes through all this information, and I've connected him to only two tools, Granola and Gmail, and I enable the agent with only one skill, that is the ability to send me a Slack DM, sorry, and a super simple set of instructions that is to act as a CFO in his judgment of all the notes it goes through, and give me a comprehensive to-do list for my Friday morning to make sure that I don't forget anything I've promised to someone or where I may be a blocker. So to give you a super quick overview of the agent builder view, it's this one. If you struggle with the blank page syndrome, you can just ask Sidekick all the things you dream about this agent, and he will help you build the instruction, suggest you the right tools and capabilities, knowledge to set up for your agents. Actually, one of the small tips I got from a solution engineer is to use the mic to lose the writing barrier, and you just talk to your agent all the things you want your agents to do, and it will create it for you. You go through the instructions Sidekick I've wrote, and you just adapt it. In my case, what I've done is to pre-write templates. I want him to surface my to-do list with the critical and time-sensitive action first, and then sort all the action items by category he decides best for me. And some important rule, that is to neither invent or infer action items. It has to be a precise action I voiced during a meeting or write down in an email, and to flag item where I could be a blocker for financial close, fundraising, the topics that are most important to me. So super easy one, and to give you an idea of the output, I've asked the agent to do a fake one that looks pretty much like the one I receive every Friday morning on my Slack DM, that will surface critical time-sensitive things that I need to do to have a proper wrap-up of my week. So that's it for this agent. It was just to show you the back end of how we build agent, and to show you one that is a bit more finance related. It's an agent we call Account Receivable Analyst, and this agent is all about knowing and understanding our account receivable. So the way it works is that we've connected it to Snowflake. Snowflake is a data lake where we have our invoicing data coming from Stripe billing that is on table in Snowflake. We connected it to our CRM, HubSpot, to enrich the data with some relevant information like the CSM managing the account. A set of skills that I've built for understanding how I want him to draft a collection email, how I want him to present a finance dashboard, how to query Snowflake. You have to give a bit of instruction on this. It's not super long, and you always have a sidekick by your side. Once you have this, the output I get is this frame that is an interactive dashboard that you can update at the frequency you want with wake-up calls. And this will give you a comprehensive view of all your overdue invoices, sorted by clients with the CSM and AE information that have been enriched from HubSpot and sorted by aging buckets. Where it's interesting is that it's interactive. You can sort the dashboard. You can drill down into an account to see the invoice. On my actual, this is fake data, but on my actual dashboard, I've asked the agent to just add hyperlink on each invoice that will open in a new tab the Stripe dashboard on this invoice. And one of the other things that is super interesting is that I've asked the agent to build view by CSM. And this answer was one of the pain points I had in my previous company. It was to make this information available. Because most of the time, the billing tool is something that you have a license only for the finance team. And you struggle to give the aging information, overdue invoices to the CSM, to support, to whoever will benefit from having it. And this way, I can just make this frame available to everyone, or anyone can ask the agent, prompting how much Spendesk owes us, and it will answer. Spendesk has paid all his invoices.
Right.
And this way, you have information available to everyone. So that's just an output that is super interesting, and we can imagine having the same one for board meeting, for reporting. To give you an idea, since I joined Dust, I haven't done any Google Slides. It's over for me, the Google Slides. I'm just running all my finance outputs as frame. That's not the only things we do with this agent. What we do that is super interesting is that we run an update every Monday morning, and I've asked this agent to prepare draft in my Gmail inbox. It doesn't send the actual emails, but just prepare all the balance statement for the overdue clients. And this way I can just send reminders to the one I want, or just review before sending. If we wanted, we could ask the agent to send an email directly. Today that's the way I'm working, but it's already a huge time saver for me. Of course, we could think about building some analytics directly from Dust. Once the information is available to the agent and has been queried, it's super easy to imagine all the use case you want around the invoicing data. So that's pretty much it. To summarize maybe a bit things, what we've done is that we've created a special agent on account receivable and collection. We've done this by connecting the agent to Snowflake, to HubSpot, to Gmail, to Slack, so that the tools and you already use in your company. We have enriched the agent with some knowledge, some tools and integration, of course. with the ability to build frames that can be updated, and triggers to make it run every Monday morning in my case, but it can be on the frequency you wish. So that's one example of the pipeline we can build with Dust in, frankly, half an hour for the first time, and you have something that is relevant and that you can work with.
Cool. Thank you so much, Mathieu. Super interesting example, and I'm sure there's an infinite amount of other examples that you could show, especially in the context of finance. What I will do is, in case any of the audience members are interested in learning more about how Dust can help them, I will launch a poll that asks you if you want to be put in touch with a rep from Dust, and you can feel free to press yes on that, and we will put you in touch with them. So that poll is open. And Mathieu, I wanted to ask you a question that I think might come from the audience is, what do you think actually makes Dust different than, for example, a Claude Code, right? Like, I see a lot of different, similar feature sets. Like, what do you think is like the distinguishing feature between those two services?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things Dust do for, and especially for finance, is that it gives you a enterprise AI layer where you don't have to choose a lab. What I mean by that is that pretty much all the AI models are available on Dust, from Anthropic, Gemini to ChatGPT, and all the other one, Mistral, of course. So you can use pretty much the one you want. Your agent will still be the same in terms of instruction, knowledge, and integration if you change the model of your agent. So that's one of the key thing. And also it's it's a horizontal platform, so we are building something that is usable for all the enterprise, every member of the enterprise. When you can collaborate, skills is something that you can share with every member of your team, of your company. So you make it specific to your organization, so that you make sure that you leverage AI the way you want. So that's two of the key things that is super important, I think, for the finance team, especially.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, we use that at Spendesk. I think all departments see a lot of use from it. So as you said, it's very horizontal, right? It's across the organization. It's not just a finance tool. So I think it's quite powerful that way. Cool. Thank you for the demo. If you could just unshare your screen, and then we will now turn the microphone to Pauline, who also has a demo for us regarding Spendesk within the context of Dust. So Pauline, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, let's go for a live demo. So this is live, so be gentle if something is not going smoothly, but I think it will. So now you see like what is almost my homepage by now. So my Dust homepage. So you can see that I have other agents working for me, but today it will be just about the MCP, the demo MCP of Spendesk, because I cannot share, like real data. But let's go for this. So I'm using Dust, and I'm calling the MCP of Spendesk, which is the very similar technology of what you're using in prod, but in my environment for demo. So today it's about this case of actual against forecast using the spend data against a budget which is static in the spreadsheet. So this is what the budget file look like. This is by cost center with some vendors. And well, for the purpose of the case, I kept it simple, but we know we are working in much more complex files usually. So now, if I go back to my Dust frame and just prompt, so first of all, are you connected to the MCP? And I think he is. Yeah, great. So you see all the data which is as a sudden available from Dust, so from my AI tool at Spendesk, and it can call a lot of information regarding my spend management. So now let's go and ask a bit of favor on the 26 budget based on the actuals. And I am asking now to pull 2026 year-to-date data, actuals data from Spendesk and to fill them into the Google Sheet. So the Google Sheet link is here. And now we go. And I will just stay here for a second. So just to show you that the connection to MCP, then it's working. For security purposes, I always have to allow when entering some data. And then it's retrieving in the spreadsheet some numbers. So one last authorization. So this is live, so sorry, it might be a bit slow, but at the end, it's taking seconds to do what it's supposed, to take maybe 60 minutes per department usually. So it's still, filling here. I can see all the thinking. And now it just identified the column that it has to fill. And now it's getting to fill it. Voila. So it was not me, it's how the MCP does it. So he recognized the columns he has to populate, and then he just pulled the data through the MCP from the Spender demo environment. And then he's telling me a summary. So looking at the year-to-date actually just populated into the spreadsheet here, and already flagging some items that looks, let's say, odd or unusual to him. So now if we look at the variance, I think that the controller of this demo environment is not that great, because like the budget for 26 was like 8K and we are running at 152. So let's try to dive a bit here. And again, like the powerful thing is like, I'm not asking my controller to do it. Like I'm the CFO and I can still run some analysis without, disturbing anyone. And even my controller, it can take a, couple of seconds to run the analysis on a monthly basis, or maybe even live, during the month, just to have a status. So my question was, so actuals are in, can you write a short narrative on the key variances? So this is how I discovered AI personally, using, drafting commentaries. I the first service I asked to an agent, and now it's definitely like setting something which is almost, ready to send for an OPEX review to a budget owner or to the CEO. Very well formalized and flagging what's next, as next step. So finance, investigate it. Is it correctly classified? So just to show you how deep we can go, we will now go to the lower level at invoice level and at suppliers level. So now if I want him to dig a bit into the finance cost center, which was definitely overspending, I'm still authorizing some feature inside the MCP, so it's still asking me for authorization. And then it's going at the lower level, meaning the payables level. And this is where I think this is powerful, because I'm running into Spendesk, and then I stay into Dust, and I can pull all the data I need in a secure way, and I can still, roll through and see the audit trail of everything which is done by Dust.
And Pauline, if you can just flip to the other Dust conversation screen so people can see. There we go.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Luc. I'm sorry, I can't see you guys. I can't
No
see
worries,
you
no
because
worries.
I'm on my screen. So now he's definitely doing the supplier deep dive and breaking that by vendor. So this, if I want, I can copy it and go back to my spreadsheet to get an exhaustive memo. But I think that the way Mathieu does it, like using frames only, I think this is the perfect way to go to. So the spend itself, like 2 issues. So some of them were misprepared and some of them maybe had no PO. So confirm that the 3 Accenture invoice covers and whether a PO exists. And then we can definitely check whether or not there is a PO behind that. So my point is, like in a couple of seconds, it can identify, like exceptions, errors, things that were that investigation, and so recommended next step. So for the first case to the first use case, which was actual versus forecast, I think it can be pretty powerful. Now, it was all about budget control. The second part of the demo would be around supplier control, which is where most of the budget risk actually originates. So now let's take another hat, like the controller hat, and to look at my Google and marketing spendings. So asking, I'm the controller preparing the budget, and I want to clean up our supplier master file. So can you find all entries related to Google or Alphabet, including what is, sometimes called Alphabet, sometimes Google Ireland, et cetera, et cetera. So here, I don't have to go to the Spendesk platform and, make a search for the Google Ireland, then for Alphabet, and then download everything in a spreadsheet. Everything will be pulled all together in one single report in a couple of clicks. And sorry, this is still live, so it's still taking the real time. He actually find himself that it was useful to go back to 2023. And now it's taking a bit more time than what I was doing when I was training yesterday. So he finally found the entries for Google and Alphabet from my prompt. And so he found 4 suppliers, and I was able to draft a report. Okay, so he found 4 suppliers. The interesting part is that 3 of them had just no spend. Sorry, it's still loading, and just one is active. This one. So my take, and what is useful in this report, is that I know that in my supplier master, I'm running 4 lines for just one active supplier, and the rest is just polluting the supplier master file. So he will review line by line and check do some cross check proactively, VAT number, CRET, or like registration number, also address, and then flag so everything he find unusual, and then make some suggestion to archive the old one that are not used and to double down and enrich the one which is actually used by the marketing team. So now if we want to go and shift a bit in something I love to check every month is, are we doing some spend without purchase orders, which I think is something we've all been confronted to. So now I'm just prompting, can you look at for SaaS or software pen that went through invoices without a PO, and especially for a subscription and tool. And now it's able, thanks to Dust combined to the Spendesk MCP, to go and take a deeper dive even for the PO. So invoices, payables, purchase orders, everything is now in the scope, and you can retrieve everything. And you see that in a couple of seconds, what would have taken like maybe half a day for a controller, downloading everything, filtering, clicking everywhere to do pivot table by department. Here, the agent, which is not connected to Slack or Gmail, but that would be a next step, is able to retrieve all the, let's say, exceptions, so invoices that went through without any POs. And this, obviously, we don't want them to. We don't want invoices without any POs here.
What is super interesting is that you didn't get in much knowledge and much context.
Well, the context I gave, everything is already in the Spendesk environment. So the beauty of it, of MCP here, combined with the performing agent, which is Dust, is like it doesn't need a lot of context if the data of the MCP are well set up, because it gets the context from the data itself. You don't have to prompt it. And to download your cloud.md if you are working in cloud, or to prompt your context every time you're using the agent. I'm just using Dust here. You're right, Mathieu.
Yeah, it's all about having your source of truth super clean.
And this is where, like, when it comes to spend, having one single unified platform to manage all the spend, and at Spendesk, and even in the demo environment, the purpose is to get 100% of our invoices booked and let's say booked inside the platform. Well, it's a powerful tool when the source of truth is robust.
Mm.
And now I can have like I can have a full report on the SaaS and software spend without the PO coverage as of today. So he found the Figma one. So I got an invoice and it was all done. But for my platform fee, we found no PO, for instance. So from this couple of seconds, I can already take actions and corrective actions, to either to get POs for the next period, to go back to the budget owner to make corrections, or to investigate any, overspend. So it's more control, more time back to the decision actually, and to the business partnering, a bit less crunching the data. And this is where I'm done for today.
No, thank you, Pauline. Already a lot in terms of a live demo with a lot at stake in front of a big audience. So well done. I think you aced it, and some really powerful demos there within Dust. And to both your points, I think the power of Dust is having all your context, all of your resources in one place. And if the data is clean, then you have already that added context that makes using Spendesk MCP so much more powerful. So just like Dust, if you want to talk to a Spendesk rep and get a more personalized assessment with situation for Spendesk, you can feel free to vote. I will push it on. I will put it on to live for you to vote, and you can have a look. I know that we don't have many questions. So I did wanna ask. I see one from Celine actually. Is how do you manage specific access rights to some data connected? So that is a very good question. I don't know if Mathieu or Pauline, you want to take that on how you help to manage the different data access for your team when they're dipping into information via Dust and via Spendesk MCP?
I can answer for it because I've connected so many MCPs for my team. So the MCP is following strictly the rules and the access that you've set up inside your tool. So for instance, like for NetSuite, if someone has a read-only access and he can access only to a couple of entities, the MCP will not allow to get more access. So it's the same for Spendesk. I'm as the account owner, I can access everything in the platform. But let's say that someone who's just a user or a budget owner, he can access only his data. Matthew, maybe you have a better way to frame it.
If I go back to the example I presented, like the tools I used, the agent was using my credential. So it means that the same agent can be run for the action recap, for example. If the same agent was used by someone else, it will trigger a call to his own Gmail and his own Granola. And at the time so it goes through your credentials. So it got access to what you have access on the tool level. If I'm looking at knowledge, for example, on Snowflake, when we trigger the invoicing information, it's something you have to set up at the workspace level, and you have to work with your data team to make sure that the information is available. In our example, for example, we didn't query Stripe directly. It was Stripe data that was into Snowflake. So once you have set up this information as a company information available, you can query it from your agent.
Cool, thank you, Mathieu. There's also another question regarding Dust from Alexandre, who is asking, can we connect Zero to Dust?
That's a good question. I'm not using Zero, so I'm not sure about if we have integration on the shelf, but I've used Zero in the past, and I know they are pretty open. It's a quite recent tool with API and all, so I would be surprised that you cannot. Yeah.
They have an MCP as well, I think, but maybe a bit more settings and fine tunings before getting a good quality. But like for NetSuite, been there as well.
Yeah, with NetSuite, Xero, QuickBooks, all the ones that are API first and MCP first, it's okay.
And there's another question from Alexandre, which I think is actually one of Dust's, for me, my favorite feature. So can we share our agent interactions to our colleagues so they can understand how or why the agent comes up with a specific result?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, because what we've done at Dust is that you have the ability to tag someone in your conversation with an agent to make it even a collaborative work on a specific topic, or just to share your results. If you, for example, Pauline, what she presented, if she wants to share it with the controller in her team, she can just send and share the frame, not the frame, the conversation. So yeah, absolutely.
Cool, thank you. So Nicolas, who just asked, will there be a replay? Yes, we will be sending one right after the session is over. It looks like we do not have any other new questions, and we are right at time. So the timing is actually perfect. So we'll end the session there. Mathieu, Pauline, thank you so much for taking the time to show off both Dust, Spendesk MCP. I thought it was super concrete and very applicable for the audience. So again, feel free to follow up with both speakers via LinkedIn if you want to connect with them. And if you want to also get in touch with Dust or with Spendesk, also you can let them know. So thanks again to our speakers, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Thank you very much, Luc, Pauline, and everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.